Hey everybody, it's Derek here. We're gonna have a look at some weekly game news again. So this is for the week starting February 8th to February 14th, Valentine's Day, which is today. But it's just another day for most of us. Anyway, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter in the slightest. So we'll have a look at the news. So biggest news today is probably, or not today, but this week's probably Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red having their ransomware attack. So earlier in the week, CD Projekt Red announced that they had been victims of a ransomware attack, and the alleged hackers had acquired like source code for Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, Gwent, a couple of other things, potentially some personal data from the developers and things like that. Um, CD Projekt Red's statement is up on their Twitter account. I think it's like it's not a pinned tweet, but I think it's their latest tweet. But this is their statement. Yesterday, we discovered we have been a victim of yada yada yada, etc. But they also posted the ransom demand. It's just like, why? Why on earth would you post this? Because nowhere in the statement does it say what they had or what they had stolen or what had been leaked or whatever. But then they just put up the statement that says we have copies of the source code for Cyberpunk, Witcher, Gwent, an unreleased version of Witcher 3, so documents around accounting, administration. There's a lot of like not great stuff there because that's like HR documents and things like that. So that's like developer uh, info and that kind of thing. Not good. But like, why? Why would you post this? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for CD Projekt Red to post that either. I don't know why they would go out of their way to post that kind of thing. But then later in the week, there was news that the source code had been sold somewhere on the dark web. The dark web. The dark web. And this is coming from Ars Technica. That it had been allegedly sold. There was corroborating stories that there was an auction going on starting out at 1 million, different bidding amounts, a buy it now price, people having to buy in with Bitcoin and that kind of thing. Um, while they have been able to corroborate that kind of thing, it had eventually come out that about 2 days later, the auction had come down, and they had said they had received an outside purchase of the source code or something, so they were happy enough with that. Thing is, no one's been able to confirm that, and it is a typical action of hackers, ransomware guys, to do that to save face because nobody was bidding or nobody wanted it. There's a couple of things Ars Technica go into here from different sources saying that. They also have a promoted comment from this guy who makes a pretty good point about it. Either way, I mean, it's not good for CG Projekt having this kind of shit happen to them. They're already, their reputation has already taken a bit of a dive, or a considerable dive, I guess, um, after Cyberpunk came out. So these extra things, not a good look for them. That being said, I hope the developers aren't massively hit by, doxing and having their personal data out there in the wild. I hope that doesn't come back to them. E3, for whatever reason, still think they're relevant, and are deciding to go forward with an event in 2021. You may or may not remember that they were still pushing for a physical event in 2020, right when the pandemic had like really started to hit. It would have been in the middle of the summer. They eventually, you know, I imagine somebody took them aside and said, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. So they, cancelled it. But they've come out this week. This is from Video Games Chronicle. Sorry, more than one game Chronicle, saying that ESDESA, the Entertainment Software Association, which is this big conglomerate lobbying group for games, and it houses like Microsoft, Sony, EA, Ubisoft, all the big shitheads, more or less. Um, but they've come out to say that they're gonna try to do a digital E3. Um, why? Like, almost every big publisher, even smaller publishers and whatever, have just gone ahead and done their own showcases at any time whenever they want to. They're also asking for like, does it say? They don't give the exact amount, but they're pointing out like there's a six-figure sum required to join the schedule. Like, why? Why on earth would you do that when you could just put out a YouTube video and just that's it? Like, why the hell? Why? Why? Like, they're pointing out other things here with like the members of the ESA have already gone off and either not bothered with E3 or made their own showcases. You know, Sony and Microsoft have their own thing. I don't think Nintendo are even part of the ESA. EA, Activision have their own thing. Ubisoft tried to do their own thing, and they'll probably do it again. And then they have Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley would normally have been part of E3, but he went off to do his own thing for Summer Game Fest last year. And he has said he's continuing to do it this year. Hopefully that gets, shortened, because that went on for way too long. But yeah, even then, the ESA still need to get sign off from their members as to whether or not E3 can go ahead. So I just don't like, why? What's the point? An in-person one makes sense for press, so they can get there and have all the demos all in one go and whatever, that kind of thing. So they're not over and back all the time. But from a consumer standpoint, which is what this will be, really, the digital events. I mean, press get their press kits and embargoed like demos and stuff all the time, but this is mostly aimed for a consumer kind of thing. This is what the digital showcases would be. I don't see why the publishers wouldn't just do it themselves. Anyway, some new releases this week. So I meant to do this in last week's video. I was going to mention like the PlayStation Plus games and stuff, and the different games that come out, but I'm just going to add this in now. So 2 games that I am interested in. Obviously there were more than 2 games that came out this week, but these are the ones that interested me. So Little Nightmares 2. Can I just play the trailer without the sound? Cool. I'll put it full screen, why not? So Little Nightmares 2 was released this week. I really like Little Nightmares 1. I also played a bit of the Little Nightmares 2 demo on the channel, so you can go out and have a look at that if you like. Really interested to see how it plays out. Haven't had a chance to play it myself yet because I am catching up on a backlog of things for the channel and just a backlog of games that I've been meaning to play. There will be more videos coming out later in the week for games that I am way behind on. Also, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Let's full screen this guy too and skip past the ads and shit. Okay. Again, it's a 3D Mario game. Like, even the bad 3D Mario games are still really, really good. So I don't see why you wouldn't. If you have a Switch and you have the available funds, why wouldn't you get it? I have not purchased it yet, but I'm fully intending to do so again once I have time to do it, because this does look like a lot of fun. The Bowser's Fury part, I'm not entirely sure. I am seeing points that it is pretty small or pretty short or whatever, but maybe it's just an indication of where the next big 3D Mario game is going to go. I do like the whole Godzilla thing they've got going on with Bowser here and Super Saiyan Mario, apparently. Who knows where they're going with that. So some game updates. Pillars of Eternity Switch port won't be getting any better. This is from Polygon, Charlie Hall at Polygon. So this is highlighting that Pillars of Eternity doesn't run super great on the Switch, and apparently that's not going to change from now on. The Switch does kind of struggle with some of the more performant games. Pillars of Eternity being like an isometric game, it doesn't seem like it would be heavy duty, but it is. There's a lot of churn going on in the background to make like the simulated dice rolls, the AI, that kind of thing. Like, there's a lot going on. It's not surprising that it's having trouble running, but it is surprising that they would come out and just say that it's not going well. That's their statement. So, like, not surprising, but like, it's good that they've come out and said that. that, you know, we're aware of it. Sorry, nothing we can really do about it. The limitations of the hardware. However, it's still full price on the Switch store. Like, if you know it's not running well, if you know it's not like the best version it can be, and you are not going to try to fix it, either take it off the store or cut that price. You know, like, why is it still full price? That's, you know, that's just shitty. Stardew Valley, the massive patch that really changes up the game, adds a ton of new content and stuff. It's finally on consoles. Had been on PC for a good while. There's a lot of good stuff in it. Probably the biggest thing is that there's a whole new island, new area with new NPCs, new quests, new dungeons, and that kind of thing. There's a new farming biome as well, I believe. So that is on consoles now. So it's on PC. It's here now. PC, Switch, PS4, PS5. The Xbox is this year. Well, I'm not even going to bother with Xbox, which you know. The only thing it's not on is Android and iOS. But yeah, there's like a shit ton of new stuff in there. So if, you know, you really like Stardew Valley and you've been gone off for a while and you were thinking of getting back into it, now is a really good time to jump in. Or if you've never played Stardew Valley, what are you doing? Go pause this video, go play Stardew Valley for a bit, then come back and watch the rest of this video. Or, I don't know, watch this video. Or just don't listen to me, who cares? Nobody listens to me anyway. Spiritfarer, which was a really good game I played last year. It was on the channel as well. It's some similarities to Stardew Valley, except it's Stardew Valley but on a boat. It's the kind of thing. But it's announced that there's some pretty big content updates. I was going to say patches. They're not really patches. Content updates for Spiritfarer coming in this year. So we've got one in spring, summer, and fall. Adding new spirits, new story stuff, new quality of life improvements. All good stuff to see. I won't go too far into this because there are spoilers if you haven't played it. This is coming from Spiritfarer's own Thunder Lotus Games website. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will probably wait until the whole thing is out. Again, tons of games in my backlog. You have no idea. I can definitely wait. But I'm really happy that there's more, because I've been meaning to go back to Spiritfarer because there's 1 or 2 trophies I need to get to platinum. So this would be a good reason also for me to go back. And now we come to everyone's favorite part of the show, industry bullshit. So we'll come back, or we'll start off with some things harkening back to last week. So last week we mentioned that some of the Sonic voice cast had been culled, but not Dr. Eggman. For some reason, Dr. Eggman managed to survive. So Mike Pollock, who voices Dr. Eggman, made a tweet, a twatter, whatever, to say, hey, I didn't get shit canned like everybody else. I wonder why. Is it because they probably couldn't get Jim Carrey to do the voice, so they wanted to keep the voice actor on? I don't know, maybe. There's some other points here that that the voice actor for Tails is going to be doing it for the film, but not for the Netflix TV show. The voice for Amy Rose, I think, is also gone. But yeah, like, it's just shitty how the voice actors are treated. But like, you can say it's all for auditions and what have you. But if you're like the de facto voice for so long, unless they were like being shitty about salary or something, but I kind of doubt it, because they do like plenty of other voices as well. So I don't know. So going back to Warner Brothers patenting software that builds off other software, you dickheads. It's just not something you do. But anyway, under fire for doing it. So this is kind of like what I was getting at, and says it a little bit more concisely than I was saying it. But this is from Thomas Was Alone developer, Mike Bithell. This is really gross, especially for a franchise that built its brilliant Nemesis system on top of a whole heap of mechanics replicated from other games, as all games do, because that's how culture and creativity works. This is kind of pointing out that the Shadow of War, or the Mordor games in general, are like Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham games and tons of other systems that they nicked, and nobody was patenting them or complaining about it, but they've decided to patent the Nemesis system. It's just shitty. It's just shitty behavior, but it is absolutely in the Warner Brother Games wheelhouse because they are just shitty people. There's a couple of different. Hey, this fucking sucks. There's a couple of different people that go into it here from PlayStation Lifestyle. But yeah, it's just you just don't patent software, guys. You just don't do it. It's not. You just don't do it. This from Game Informer. This is going back to just Konami not knowing what to do with Silent Hill. Silent Hill composer teases new project and then interview immediately taken down. So Akira Yamaoka, famed Silent Hill composer, amazing music in Silent Hill. He did some work for The Medium. So he was having an interview about that, and they came up with, oh, what's coming next? And he said, I think it's the one you're kind of hoping to hear about. What do you think that is? Akira Yamaoka, probably best known for Silent Hill. I think it's the one you're kind of hoping to hear about. Probably Silent Hill, right? But the people that gave the interview to, so there was a wrong word in there somewhere. Anyway, they took down the clip where he mentioned it, and it was not stated who asked. And Konami were asked, but they said Konami did not ask AlHub or AI Hub. I think that's an L. AlHub to take down the interview. Do you believe them? I don't. It's not like Konami haven't lied about shit in the past. So this is from Game Informer. So this is going back to just Stadia just being absolute fucking... They just don't know what they're fucking doing. And also, is this controller... This has to be a flipped image or something because this controller cannot... No, the Stadia controller doesn't look like that. The logo's the wrong way around as well. Okay. This is a flipped image. It's fine. Wait. Is it? Because the assistant icon is correct. No, it's got to be because these are the wrong way around as well. Yeah, look at the B. Okay, that's fine. It's a flipped image. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Anyway, so Terraria creator cancels Stadia port, calls doing business with Google a liability. Is not wrong. They should add that to the, in brackets, is not wrong. So this is Andrew Spinks, developer behind Terraria from Demilogic and eventually Relogic. Basically, he had a Twitter thread, which is here, complaining to Google about just Google being shitty. And it's not just Google doing this. I mean, all the big tech companies do this, but they're just stonewall you when you have account issues. They're just fuck you. We don't care. But, you know, he put them on blast, I guess. Is that what the kids say? I don't know. This was last Monday, I guess. Where he's basically saying he's been locked out of his account, so he's lost a bunch of stuff. He's lost all his own personal purchases on Google Play, some of the movies he's bought, and then like company Google Drive data documents in there are gone. The YouTube channel is gone, and his Gmail account is gone. Again, company Gmail accounts and stuff like that. As far as he's aware, he hasn't done anything to violate their terms of service. Google, of course, have not told you, because they never do, tell you what exactly you did to violate their terms of service. They just said, you violated it, so fuck you. So he eventually came back to say, I'm not going to be involved with it, yada, yada, yada. And the end result is Terraria is not going to be on Google Stadia, even though it hadn't been announced yet. But anyway, I guess they don't have to do the announcement part. But it's just another highlight of how the bigger tech companies just don't care about their customers. Even the people they're in business with still just don't care. There's a good amount of more detail in this article from Game Informer that you can check out. Links will be in the description. And this, not necessarily news. This is just an article from Android Central that just go into why Stadia Games' internal studios closure is just continues the problem of Google having commitment issues. It goes into some details about different services that they've killed off. Daydream could have been really good with Stadia. These are Internet of shit or Internet of Things devices that are just paperweights now because Google's decided to stop supporting them, etc. It's a really good, it's a well-written article. You should check it out. The link will be in the description. Right. Again, we're still on the industry bullshit. So GameStop, fresh off their Game Stonks PR blitz, I suppose. It wasn't exactly them. Anyway, whatever. That's not important. But they are suggesting that people go to the physical store to get a shiny Pokemon in the middle of the pandemic. Good stuff, guys. So this is from Destructoid, essential business game stuff. So this is going back to earlier in the pandemic. Christ, where GameStop tried to get themselves classed as an essential business because getting your video games is essential. Getting them physical, not just download them or get them off a delivery service or something. But no, GameStop, famed essential business GameStop, wants you to come in and use the Pokemon app or whatever to get a serial code so you can collect a shiny Pokemon. I don't even know. It's that Pokemon. No idea who that is. I think there's a picture of him. What generation of Pokemon are we on now anyway? I think I just stopped paying attention after a while. But whatever. They want you to go in the middle of a pandemic. Good shit, GameStop. Fucking dickheads. EA is purchasing Glue Mobile for $2.4 billion. That's the guys behind the Kim Kardashian game. And a bunch of other celebrity games. They've got ones for Gordon Ramsay, Britney Spears, etc. They're the people behind the Taylor Swift social networking app. What the fuck? It does not surprise me that EA wants some of that money, but like, why EA? Why? Maybe they'll catch the EA curse and die off. That'd be great. There's a point made out here, so here it is. Mobile is the fastest growing platform on the planet. It's like, no, it isn't. You guys killed it off. All the games. Okay, I'm not gonna say all the games because there are actually some decent mobile games, but the vast majority of mobile games are complete trash. Like, it's pretty much like, check the Steam account library for PC games. So much trash, so much fucking hentai jigsaw puzzle games. At least I don't see too much of that on the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store or whatever. But there's just so much trash on the mobile store, and EA are almost chief among them. At least at the beginning, when they just churned out a bunch of shite for like Tetris and Monopoly and a bunch of other crap that was all just, sure, they're behind the Dungeon Keeper mobile game. Unbelievable garbage. Anyway, maybe they'll catch the curse and it'll kill them off. So we'll end with like a really great story. Look at this shithead. Anyway, Riot's CEO is being sued for sexual harassment. So Riot CEO Nicolas Laurent is being sued by former employee Sharon O'Donnell for sexual harassment. There's a bunch of quotes here for both based on multiple well-documented complaints from a variety of people, telling female employees to handle COVID stress by having children. Anyway, it goes into a bunch of other stuff that I'm not particularly comfortable talking about, but I'm only bringing this up because, well, one, terrible picture. Like, what the fuck? Obviously, he's a fucking predator. But it's pointing out that Riot Games has a history of this stuff, not unlike Ubisoft having a history of these sexual harassment complaints. This paragraph here is a big enough issue. The company responsible for games of League of Legends and Valorant was founded in 2018 to have been harboring a toxic bro culture that has resulted in numerous lawsuits from like sexual harassment and a bunch of other stuff. They had to pay $10 million to current and former female employees. A case is still going. It hasn't been finished. And then a bunch of things. This guy, because he said some fucking stupid shit about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. Like, why are these people allowed to stay in business? We'll end with some, I guess, not as bad industry bullshit, but whatever. Twitch viewers elect Meme Lizard as new permanent Pogchamp. So you may or may not remember the original Pogchamp guy was not outed exactly, because he outed himself as just right-wing shithead. So Twitch elected to remove his face as Pogchamp, and they were going on this kind of randomized, well, not randomized exactly, but like a lottery of different emotes that took over Pogchamp for like a day or 2 days or whatever it was, and then they had a vote for who would take it over forever. And the one who won is Komodo Hype, which is this thing, probably Photoshop lizard. It's just pretty funny. But this little new little quote here is probably the funniest part, in that like I'm not up on like Twitch emote wars or whatever, but apparently Komodo Hype was used a lot of times to replace or directly in competition with Pogchamp. People would post a Pogchamp and someone would respond with Komodo Hype. And apparently there was like a war of which was the better one, or whatever. But apparently the Komodo Hype guys have, of course, they have won now. You know, we won because he has just straight up taken over the Pogchamp thing. Anyway, I don't know. I thought that was funny. And going back to our giant Lady Dimitrescu from last week, Resident Evil Village art director doesn't know why you're all so thirsty for Lady Dimitrescu. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He knows what he's doing. He just doesn't want to out himself as a lover of large women. But anyway, this is just pointy. This is like a funny little interview with Tomonori Takano talking about the bewitching vampire Lady Dimitrescu. And I don't think anyone on the team could have predicted how wonderfully fans have reacted to Lady Dimitrescu. Personally, I was particularly struck by comments like, "I wanted to be chased by her." Anyway, and it goes into like some stuff about where he took inspiration from, and that shot where in the trailer where she has to duck underneath to get into like a doorway. He's like, that was like the first piece of concept art I drew. So he knows what he's doing. You know, he knows. Don't lie to us, Tomonori. You know what you're doing. Anyway, so that was some of the news for February 8th to February 14th. Again, doing these pre-recorded for now. I am planning on doing like properly live at some stage, but building myself up to it, I suppose. Latest vids at the bottom has not updated this week because I haven't put out any new vids, but there are some. As I said, big backlog of games. I have some recorded now, and they are rendering and such, so they should be up next week as well. We'll be looking at stuff like a game called Twin Mirror. There's one for Fogs, which is two dogs like with a snake body, dog head, snake body. Weird. It's a weird game. It's fun, but it's a weird game. And another game called Unto the End. Which is really, really fucking hard. That video, God, I'm still questioning whether or not I'm actually gonna post it, because oh my God, I was so shit on it. But anyway, I guess I will now. They will feature in my Games of December, and yes, I'm well aware we're into February and I still haven't put up my December video. I am working on it. Trust me, it's on the way. I have been very busy. This last while. Anyway, it's on the way. Anyway, that was the news for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe, I don't know. Industry bullshit is always a downer, but I can't look away. I have to know about the bullshit. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.